Hello Ace Runners and welcome to the 2023 MVP Open presented by OTB Discs. This is our last playoff event before the tour finale, and this coverage is brought to you by Ace Run Pro. My name's Holly Finley.
And I'm Raven Klein, and we have brought you the back nine of day one. We are in Leicester, Massachusetts at the Maple Hill course. If you haven't watched the front nine yet, go ahead and make sure you see that. We've had some really good shots, some scrambles, things like that, and I'm excited to see how everyone cleans up on the back. Evelina finishing in the clubhouse already with the 6 down, Haley King 4 down through 11, and then other people just kind of looks like we've had a really slow start today with the field.
Evelina's unofficial round rating coming in at 1040.
Let's go. Love that. We're going to start off the back nine with hole 10, par 3, 266 feet. It does not play like 266 feet. You are shooting uphill the entire way with a little bit of a gap to hit off the tee. A lot of players, the smart thing is to kind of ride the right side almost, hyzer in toward the hill, or if you're trying to get max distance and flex something and push straight up, then you've got this little castle with the basket sitting on top. If you're going to get up there, just don't push too far so you have a death putt back down the hill.
Holyn Handley up first after a birdie on the 9th. Goes to the right side, headed for the trees, and it stays in the trees. Not sure she'll have a putt from there, but looks that she could scramble.
Nice shot from Catrina, kind of hugging the left side tree line. She's going to have a circle 2 putt for birdie.
Hokom with a backhand, a good height on it.
Nice little flex shot. She's going to be in the middle of the fairway. Sounds like they have a nice crowd following. Last on the box, Mertsch has a bit of an early release and high. She's going to catch the branches on the left side, but drops down at least on the edge.
Forehand turnover from Mertsch. Leaves her putt outside the circle. That is a nervy putt, especially if it's windy.
Sarah with a little bit of like almost a half bid, but leaves herself close, and that'll be a tap-in par.
Holyn from the trees on her knees.
She's actually taking like the back side around.
Oh.
Hit a little trampoline.
And she'll have a little tricky putt there on the left side by the big tree. Catrina tries to spin it in for the birdie. She'll have a short comeback for par.
Holyn Handley for par.
It's in.
Great putt.
I love supportive card mates.
Me too. In my head, though, it's like, why wouldn't you be?
Mertsch to save par from outside the circle. She hits the pole, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, looks like it was a little bit of a nervy bid. You know, when you're that far away, and by that I mean not that far away, you obviously want to run it, but being aware of the surroundings of the basket, it was a very smart play.
And like Maple does, the wind was really blowing when it was her turn to putt.
And now
when
it's
everyone
gone.
else's turn, there was no wind at all.
It'll be a par for Holyn, Catrina, and Hokom, and Mertsch with the bogey.
Hole 11, the Christmas tree hole, par 4, 666 feet. I wish y'all wouldn't make me say that. Now, off the tee, there's a lot of options. You can go big distance and try to get as far as you can, but most of the players are just going to try to land right here in this little opening. That'll give you a couple hundred feet into the green, where hopefully you can get a look at a birdie 3. Otherwise, any type of shot that lands up inside of a tree, you might have to do a standstill. You might not have a run up for your second shot, and then you're just going to play the hole for par. Holyn Handley up first. She's got a lot of distance in the tank, and I'm curious to see where her drive lands.
Yeah, it looked like she almost threw one of her fairway discs, and she just didn't get the turn on it that she wanted, so she hyzered out into the taller trees on the left side.
Catrina's shot turning over to the right, and there is a path over there. Oh, and she actually is in the nice short grass landing zone.
It looked like it was going so much further to the right.
Yeah, very deceiving angle on that one.
With the downhill, I will say the disc has plenty of time to come out of that flight, though. Hokom not quite making it to the clearing, so it'll be like annoying is the best way I can think of it when you're in that last one or two trees. This is looking like a nice shot from Mertsch. She should be just in the middle of the opening.
Ooh, tombstone.
Perfect. Oh, not too bad. Not too annoying for Hokom's shot.
And Sarah gets to circle 3. From there, she can likely just jump putt or chip up for a par.
Catrina just taking a Stockheiser route around everything, putting herself just outside the circle, and that will be for birdie.
Cat Mertsch looking to get up to the rocks at least and get a birdie putt.
See, a little bit of a misfire from Cat.
Yeah.
Very high, hyzered angle the whole way. She is pin high.
Could have a putt from the woods.
Yeah, so we'll see about that.
We'll see when we get there.
We'll see.
Holyn did not have much of a run up. She was pinched up against a tree, but good distance on that standstill forehand. Circle 2 bid at birdie.
Yeah. Hokom with all the new baby trees. Pins it up against the rocks, and she'll be inside the bullseye for par. This is Catrina's circle 2 look for birdie. Yes.
Wow, Catrina Allen, what a great putter she is.
Yeah. Another run back for Catrina. I like the amount of height she's able to give, and kind of has that elevator putt, but still with a little bit of hyzer, so she's combining like 3 of the main, or like the most common putting styles.
Holyn Handley for birdie.
Oh.
Just right side. And this is Mertsch. We'll see if she has a putt or not. It looks like that was a no. She just did a short pitch up. She'll settle for the par. Holyn Handley in for par here on the 11th. Hokom taps in her par.
Missing. Taking the risk.
Moving on, we have hole 12, par 4, 525 feet. 2 main plays are to hyzer over the trees and get yourself in the middle of the hill, or you can go a little bit straighter at it. Now, where you land depends on if you want a backhand approach down the hill or a forehand approach. So a lot of players will try and push a little bit further right off the tee. Your second shot goes downhill through this gap. So putter, mid-range, something that you can just get the glide, and you want to be as centered as possible. There's a lot of trees to hit, and it happens fast.
Catrina does the shot over the trees, putting her more in line with the gap. Similar shot from Holyn Handley.
A little bit more height from Holyn's shot. Great distance.
Hokom's shot a little lower on the left side.
Low shot from Cat, but she's still in the wide open space.
Always want to turn everything into a song lyric, and I just really needed that. Thank you.
I thought it immediately when I said
it. All right. Catrina Allen's forehand upshot makes it halfway down the fairway, as does Cat Mertsch. Looks like they'll both be scrambling for par.
It's a really touchy shot because you need the height to clear just this top of the hill, but anything too high and you're going to have those outcomes of the hitting the trees, and then the disc will fly for a while down the hill and not necessarily in the direction that you chose.
Holyn was lined up perfectly and gets her upshot right outside the bullseye. She'll have a birdie look.
Hokom with a forehand Annie toward the basket. Doesn't get the full turn on it though, and she's still going to have a difficult putt for par.
Merchinator gets a forehand to right outside circle 2.
Catrina was lucky enough that she ended up in the middle of the fairway, but long bid, so she just puts it under the basket. Mertsch with the stepper from C2 nestles it up underneath the basket.
Hokom hits a leaf on her putt. Kind of kills the momentum a bit, but she'll have a drop in.
This is Holyn for birdie. Beautiful.
I like the way the sun has illuminated the basket.
Yeah. Looks like it has lights on it. I mean, it does technically have light on it. But Catrina, after the layup, will tap in a par. Hokom and Mertsch will both tap in bogeys. I mean, I'd rather tap in my bogey than have to make a 40-footer for my bogey.
Facts. And now the mouth-breathing walk to hole 13.
You would think after courses like D-Glow and all these other things, we'd be fine. But this one always gets you.
Hole 13, par 3, 472 feet, a nice downhill tunnel shot. The most common play is to just go right at it, but I see a lot of discs that turn over to the right. You can take a mid or even a putter and actually get to the basket. Really, whatever's going to give you the most confidence to get down here and get a birdie or a par, that's what I think you should use. I've also seen some plays where you just do a chip hyzer right inside the gap and little pitch up to the basket and drop it in for par. Holyn Handley up first. She hits the main gap and it is turning over to the right in that center set of trees, but she busts through and wow, she's in the perfect landing zone.
Yeah, as Holly had mentioned, some players leaking off into the right side, and I would really recommend, if you're gonna make an error, go left. The right side has way more thickness to it, and I've seen people get stuck in there. Catrina also fading toward the right, but is able to kick out, and she'll land on the edge of the fairway.
Hokom's shot moving to that right center section of trees. Oh, but she kicks out and gets a roll?
Everyone just getting out of there.
Everyone getting some course love on this hole 13.
All right.
Mertsch with an overstable putter or mid, it looked like. She's hyzered to the woods on the left side short. We'll see if Raven's left side looks good over there.
I mean, yeah, no.
She told Kat to go over there now.
I did. But also everyone who went right kicked out. So you're not even really seeing what the right side looks like.
True. Hokom from a knee on the right side.
Because where they're all playing from is fairway. That is not the stuff I was talking about.
You're right.
Which I'm happy that they don't have to play through that.
Holyn perfectly lined up. Just a little jumper to the bullseye.
Smart play. Behind this basket, there is a little wall that can catch your disc before I drop off.
And actually, Kat didn't look like she's that far from the basket.
No, she did get a lot of distance.
Kat Mertsch to save par.
Leaves that left. Hokom for the par. She just hits right side chains and falls out.
They've done some course work behind this basket. They have a nice little retaining wall now. We didn't have that feature in the past.
No, we did
Sometimes your missed putt or upshots can just get caught right on that wall, which I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Kat Mertsch in for the bogey. Catrina Allen in for par. After a nice layup from Holyn, she taps in her par. And Hokom will take a bogey here on the 13th.
This was the 5th most difficult hole today with 2 birdies on it only.
Only 2?
Yep, Missy Gannon and Haley King.
Wonder if Missy threw a thrasher.
I feel like it's a good bet on a lot of holes. Moving on, hole 14, a second major water carry if you're not including hole 1. Par 3, 292 feet. It's a hyzer over the water. Your decision is whether or not you want to swing it really wide over the water and try and get close to the basket on the finish, or if you're just playing it safe and maybe you're going for the par. I have seen people go straight at it, but it's just not as common. Leaves too much up to elements, angle control, and all that. I like to have a little stability in my disc and just guarantee that it's going to go left.
We do have a new drop zone this year. In years past, it was on the road, and now it's pin deep up on the hill left. Holyn Handley with a nice hyzer. She's in the circle, putting back at the water for birdie.
I would love to see like a data sheet of where everyone landed on this hole, like where they
Like a little dot map?
Like a dot map.
That would be so fun.
I would absolutely love it.
Katrina shot hyzers. Looks like she wasn't happy about it. It's safe, though. Wow, Hokom. Hokom's safe on the road after a very exhilarating flight path.
Kat Mertsch taking a much wider approach. I love it. Keep the height. Oh, wow. Does get a big skip into the boards. They also have a separate, they call it a drop zone this year, but if you were to skip and somehow land under the bleachers, they have a separate drop zone that isn't as much of a death putt.
Hokom pitches up for par, as does Katrina.
Oh, and last year there was a wall on the side of this hill that some people's discs, you could kind of run the putt and it would get caught. They no longer have that wall on the side. So I feel like that might change a few people's decisions.
Mertsch lays up for par. Oh, and Holyn pulls her birdie putt right, and the putter is in the drink. OB. Makes the comeback for bogey. I admire the courage to go for that one. At
I
the
do
water
too.
and in front of the crowd. And with what looked to be like one of her main putters.
Mm-hmm. When you have a putt that... What did she find? Kat found something, and she's very excited about it. When you have a putt that you're not sure about and there's a crowd, does the crowd make you want to run it more or less?
I'm not sure.
rocking these polos all year. I love the breathability and comfortability. They've allowed me to perform at a high level. Check them out at flightfactorydisc.com.
Hole 15, par 3, 322 feet, one of the best wooded holes on the course. We are playing the basket straight ahead. In the past, we've played several of the basket positions here. Whatever you got that's a straight flyer, you can just go right at the basket. Also, there's a lot of sneaky lines. You can go over to the right side and hyzer back in. I've seen some extreme right side shots with a very strong hyzer finish that got in, and also some sneaky forehand lines. So this is a fun flight path to watch. Catrina Allen up first. Hits the center gap, but does kick a tree halfway down. Hokom with a forehand off the tee.
Oh, that was looking really nice. She also catches a late tree, but she got up to the flat portion of the fairway.
Mertsch hits the main gap with a hyzer. Hits a tree, and that puts her inside the circle putting for birdie. Holyn tries to will the disc to miss it, but she does one of the worst errors on this hole, is just dropping short and early. Hopefully she can get all the way up there for a par putt, but it is not easy.
She didn't really try to bite off too much distance. She had a lot of stuff in her way. It's the pro move, playing it smarter, putting yourself in position for the next shot. Catrina just pitches up toward the basket. Holyn now on her third shot. Hyzering toward the basket leaves a little below, but she is in the circle, a little bit deeper than you want for a bogey putt.
Hokom's hyzer hits right under the basket and then rolls to 25 feet away. Holyn Handley to save bogey. And she pulls it a bit right side.
Little basket tree basket action.
Mertsch off the top hat for the birdie putt.
Catrina for birdie does not make good on the putt, so she will tap in a par. Kind of got wedged between the tree and a rock.
Sarah Hokom makes good on her comeback par putt. Mertsch in for par from 20 feet.
Holyn will be carding a double bogey, 5 on this hole, and a bogey for Catrina. Moving on to hole 16, par 3, 364 feet. This hole, I feel like for some reason last year couldn't see the basket as well. It almost seems like it's in a slightly different position. But off the tee, you want to throw maybe a late turn or something that's just going to give you a simple fade, push down toward the basket on this left side, and then leave yourself with a birdie putt. There is a rock wall that the drone flew over, and if you leave it too low, I see a lot of players run into that wall.
Yeah, but a good aim point is to just fly right over that wall, and you should have a birdie putt.
Yeah, if you can aim for something that clears the left side of it and just continues to turn.
Hokom ends up on the left side.
Common error by Cat here is because the fairway leans a little bit right, a lot of players will overturn this too much ante or throw from like the wrong side of the tee pad trying to get the turn. Catrina with a beautiful shot. She's going to be pin high just inside the circle. If you're not comfortable with turnovers, just throwing straight pin distance is a great option.
Holyn goes past the pin, almost gives herself a jump putt at the men's basket. Hokom pitches up for par.
Kat leaked a little bit to the right side, but she is not in bad position. She's got a fairly simple hyzer shot into the basket, pushes it a little bit deep, but she's got a par putt from about 25.
Holyn jump putts to the bullseye. Catrina Allen for a look at her second birdie here on the back nine, and just a little left. Hate to let that one fly away.
Yeah, that's a beautiful position.
A good looking par putt from Kat Mertsch.
Catrina for par. Just a couple feet outside the bullseye. Makes good.
Hokom in for par.
And Holyn in for par.
Here we are on hole 17, a nice tight gap right off the tee. It's a par 4, 433 feet. The tee shot plays uphill. You just want to punch it right at this DGN and DGPT sign. If you can land a little on the right side with the proper amount of distance, that would be preferred. Otherwise, just get the right distance. That way you're not pinched off with a shorter shot. Landing on the right side is going to pinch you off and make it that much more difficult. It's actually better to hyzer a little left and give your second shot some more openness.
Yeah.
Sarah Hokom's in a good position, high and left.
They pulled the OB line that follows the second shot, like on the left side, a little bit in. And by, I mean like 15 to 20 feet from last year. So if you're not lined up, it's more difficult to execute.
Kat Mertsch high and left. Catrina Allen short and middle.
Two shots in a row there. Catrina and Holyn both hitting the gap, and I liked the ideas of their shots, but just too low.
And as Raven mentioned, up there by the basket, that little strip that leads to the basket is now out of bounds. And what is Catrina doing? Why would you ever go
to
through
try and go through
the corner
there.
of that? When she's been here for 10 years. She knows that doesn't exist. The chances are 1 in 1,000.
Yeah. A good approach there by Kat Mertsch. She does, the ground is fast, so you can play something lower to skip toward the basket. Okay, Hokom safe. She'll be putting. Was that for birdie? Right?
Catrina finds a little window and makes it, and she's parked it.
Not the outcome I expected, trying to go through the corner. Holyn does not feel like taking a part in the riskiness that is the elevated basket.
Oh, a little chippy friend.
He's so cute.
Hi, little chippy.
Anyway, Holyn laid up.
Kat Mertsch lays up. You know, maybe Catrina had a little window that we didn't see.
Maybe. The one window that exists. Oh,
Hokom, just a centimeter shy from making that putt. And Catrina Allen with a very unique par. Y'all should go back and watch that again.
Holyn in for par. Hokom in for par.
I'm going to give that the most unique par of the day award.
And Mertsch in for pars. I mean, at least from what we've seen. Definitely. Rounding out this back nine, we have hole 18, par 4, 479 feet. We just passed the Mando on the left side. Usually shouldn't come into play. This is a fairly simple tee shot in the sense that you just want to throw something, get out to the left side. Like 17, they did pull the OB on 18 in, which just makes the layup that much harder. If you want to go for it, that's exactly the same as it has been in previous years, and I'll leave that, to each their own. But you can cut this down and get a par pretty easy.
Sarah
I say
Hokom.
Go for it.
Yeah. Hokom up first, and she is in the fairway. Good position to lay up or go for it.
If you want to go for it, I think it's better to be more left.
Mm-hmm. Cat Mertsch with a straighter and lower shot.
I've heard a lot of players who just decide, like, if I don't get up this far, I'm going to lay up.
Catrina's shot comes out early left, and she misses the Mando. She'll have to proceed to the drop zone. Holyn with a low hyzer conservative shot. She was not trying to get a lot of distance on that. She could have been way up there.
Cat Mertsch going for the layup. Gets the green flag. Oh man, that spot is so much thinner than it was last year. Let's see. Kind of looks like Holyn's going for this.
Ooh, Holyn slips.
She is. She slipped, but...
And she made it.
Fantastic.
What a shot, Holyn Handley.
Rebecca Duffy checking to see if she's okay after she slipped.
What a shot.
Hokom going for it. Love the flight on this. Great shot. I say go for it, but just make sure not to make the mistake of falling short, because at least if you go for the drop zone, or go for the island and cross it, you get to go to the drop zone, which is a much better lined up shot. We did miss Catrina's shot from the first drop zone after missing the Mando, but after that shot, she does make the island. Mertsch makes the island after her layup play, and this is Holyn for birdie.
Oh, just a bit high out of Holyn. Sarah Hokom for birdie. Yes,
Great
what a
job.
finish. That'll cap Sarah off at 6 over par for the first round of the playoff event.
Catrina in for the bogey.
That puts Catrina at 9 over par for the event today.
Holyn in for par. Definitely a bummer to be in such good position for birdie.
Holyn ending at 4 over, and Cat Mertsch with a par ending at 6 over. And that's it. Day 1 of our last playoff event.
Sarah was only one of 2 birdies on that hole today.
Only
and the other
2 birdies
was,
on 18?
Yeah. And
0 birdies on hole 1.
I know, which is kind of crazy. And the only other person to birdie was our leader, Evelina Solomon.
Haley King in second, owns Scoggins in third, and Tatar in fourth. All the players under par sitting on the lead card for tomorrow. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
If you want to support me, today is actually the first day that my new jersey dropped, and I worked with Under Par, so you can go to the Under Par website and find the Raven Klein jersey available. They are awesome. I really recommend them.
And if you'd like to support me, Holly Finley, you can go to pharmacbd.com and use code HOLLY for 20% off all Pharma CBD products all the time. We'll see you guys tomorrow.